Because the United States has the economy, had the economy it used to have, because we were basically the distribution center for the manufacturing coming out of China, that now, once that Chinese tariff war started, Mexico brilliantly, President Claudia, brilliantly stood up and got the contract from China, like everyone else from every other situation where America has pulled itself out of a vital operational position that it had for sometimes decades and decades. That leaves holes in things that people rely on. And if people understood that Doge getting rid of USA aid literally cost millions of lives, like just that one thing, and if it's broken down in reality, logically, it made more sense to increase the money going to USA aid than even cut any of it. Could things always be trimmed, and is there always people playing games? Absolutely, like everything else. Great, investigate, great, whatever. But the pros and the cons, there is so much good that comes out of things like that. You know, that they wanted it gone. And the reason they wanted it gone is because what wasn't really a focus of USA aid on the public world was an investigation arm that they had that's tied in with international ICC, you know, and courts and investigations and blah, 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 and the SEC. And it's all of the big stuff. Yeah, they had something to do with that, a big part of that, including investigations on companies for safety issues like electric cars and things like that. So getting rid of one thing also gets rid of funding for cancer research, aid programs worldwide, and what that actually saves the taxpayers has to be adjusted by the damage taking it away causes, which ends up costing the taxpayers much, much, much more, just because of the natural reactions to the stuff that was just stopped. You know, you take away medical care from all these people, emergency rooms are going to get kind of overrun. But if you took away Medicare, most emergency rooms would have been closed because that's where a majority of their money comes from. So instead of 5 rural hospitals, there's 2. How's that going to go for those who still have the insurance to go to the hospitals? You think you'll get VIP and wait time? The ramifications of all this stuff hurts everybody. And that's including the veterans and the homeless and everybody that was once used as an excuse not to send money to Ukraine because the money's needed here. What about our homeless? What about our veterans? Why can't we send more money to them? We don't need to send cash to blah, 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 blah. The assumption, the narrative that's been painted by the Republican Party has nothing to do with the reality of what actually happens in a situation. So getting rid of USA aid, not sending money to Ukraine, not doing the things that we do worldwide to keep the peace, not protecting Gaza. I don't care how much money comes from AIPAC. Don't care. Those are human beings in their own country. And later on, we find out the real reason it's being totally leveled instead of just going after that small group in the tunnels. You know, the tunnels under all the residential high-rises. Those, yeah. When is simple logic and humanity going to come back into this conversation for the Republicans? You can't say you don't see it. You're willfully ignorant. You refuse to look. There's a difference. That's between you, and that's probably why you weren't raptured, just so you know. Oopsie.